All right, feeders of New Earth, welcome back to Hancast. Coming at you. This is Mathematical speaking. Just in case anybody's joining here, wondering what's going on with Break. He's taking a little bit of a breather. He's going to see some family, have a little bit of vacation. So I'll be covering the matches this weekend. But our faithful leader will return next week. Do not fret. And once again, joined by Abu. Here's my co-caster today. How's it going, Abu?
Well, it's going good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking, and glad to have you here. The match is already starting, so once again, to clear this up, it is Fresh versus 2-0. This is a best of two series, the second matchup that we're casting today. Now, Fresh definitely wants the wins here today. They want to get as a top seed. They need to 2-0 here if they want to get anywhere close to sync in complexity. But at the same time, 2-0 needs the wins to stay safe from the relegation matches, so it's definitely going to be really important for them, and they're a really good up-and-coming team. They have their strongest matchup today against Fresh and then Complexity later, so they got the work cut out for them. But yeah, any predictions, anything you want to see here between these two teams going on?
Well, there is a smart draft there by Probask. Like he banned as a first ban Lord Selforus and as a first pick Wild Soul.
Yeah, I mean, Wild Soul is a dangerous hero. Really, if you ignore him and let him get out of the hand, he's pretty much unkillable from what I've seen. So
Well, the point is Probask banned one of the best heroes to counter the Wild Soul, which is Lord Selforus.
okay.
And he just made sure that this Wild Soul is going to have an impact. He will be able to heal during the team fight, and that's quite scary.
That's right. So the Self Force Ultimate would be the ideal counter against this such a hero. So that being said, I don't think it's sealed the deal. You can still shut down a Wild Soul early, but it's going to be that much harder. So definitely strong draft. Pexu banning Tremble and Behemoth. Probusk banned out Midas. Also really good heroes there. But what we're going to see is Lodestone here. He's a hero that, I think he could be good against Wild Soul because he kind of pierced that armor and at least make him somewhat killable.
Well, he is indeed a good hero versus the Wild Soul, but as soon as that Wild Soul get farmed, he is not going to have the best impact. But on the other hand, just replace that Lodestone with Lord Sulfuris. No matter how much that Wild Soul is going to have farmed, there is always a lockdown from the Lord Sulfuris. Like the Lord Sulfuris will be able to kite him with that tablet, which we always see on the competitive. And on top of that, Sheba Stick.
Right. And at least, that can still be picked up by another hero um, going forward and used against him. They're definitely going to need to get something, and at least another hero that can deal damage and hold up against Wild Soul. Would I mean, a Malakin is similar to Wild Soul. Do you think there's a place for him and as a counter carry to Wild Soul, or who do you think's the best hero that they can use? Oh, there was that
As
it right there.
as a counter Wild Soul.
Yeah, I mean, looks like they're going for Oogie, and we know that he can stand toe to toe with anybody. His life
Well,
steal is just as potent.
well, Oogie is one of the best heroes as a carry to counter the Wild Soul over there because like the Wild Soul is not doing much of damage, but he is so tanky.
Right.
That what makes you when you exchange auto attacks with him, you just lose it. You have no chance to stand against this hero as auto attacks. But when it comes to Oogie, he is magic reliable, spells reliable. Like he's doing tons of magic, and on that regard, Oogie is one of the best heroes to counter the Wild Soul.
Right. And if Wild Soul is in that melee ultimate form, that's kind of what he does later in the game to stay alive, and yeah, that'll be easier for Oogie to man up on him as he's going to be locked on a hero. So I like the Oogie pick. I also like Hellbringer. Just for the amount of disable that he brings, and his ultimate is always really good to set up team fights. So I'm glad that we get to see him here. But the other interesting pick is Deadlift. Now that's the hero that secures the early game in the laning stages. He is just so annoying to deal with. We've seen him combo with Prisoner. Prisoner can land a hook with Deadlift in the lane. I mean, that's it. That's a bloodlust kill 100% of the time, I want to say.
Well, I gotta say one thing. They need a hero on mid. If that is a suicide deadlift, they need a hero on mid that when deadlift is trying to rotate, they could get absolute kill into that Hullbringer if that Hullbringer is going to be mid. because he is so easy to kill, the Hellbringer, unless that he reach the level 6.
Right, then you got that saving grace ultimate, and then I mean the only escape method is if you can land a couple of demon strikes to fear the enemy and get away. But yeah, he is an easily killable hero. So let's take a look at these bands here: Andromeda, Meraxis, Gladiator, and then Aluna, Magebane, Arachno. Why the focus on Andromeda? I mean they already have a Hellbringer. Um,
Well, Andromeda is one of the best heroes to counter initiation, but I don't see much of initiation on the Legion team. That depend on the last two picks that they are going for.
okay, so I mean maybe Uh, well, probably not a Tempest. The Wild Soul can play other slots. I'm not sure. Then we'll have to wait and see what the reason behind
Yeah, it is all
that
about the
ban
game plan
was.
over here.
But you can definitely see Peksu banning Mage Bane. They had a rough time when Sync picked Mage Bane up yesterday or on Thursday, and Arachna too is always just one of those heroes that recently with the buffs he is powerful and with that hardened Carapace could be a counter to Oogie, I suppose. So
Alright, the Mage Bane pick over there, I really disagree with that from Pixu, because the Legion team already have the Wild Soul, which means that is either a Suicide Wild Soul or a Jungle Wild Soul, and most likely the heroes is I have seen this hero most of the time on the jungle.
right.
So the Mage Bane here could be so greedy for the Legion team to run over there.
That's true. It would be extremely greedy to grab Wild Soul and Magebane, but I think they're just worried about Oogie with no mana pool. Maybe it's kind of just like a panic pick. They didn't think it through all the way. But hey, they're gonna go with Swiftblade, which is I think is always a great hero to have in your back pocket. If it goes too late against Wild Soul, now they have two late game carry potential heroes.
Well, speaking of Mage Bane, there is Moira over there as a fourth pick, and that is even more
You're
counter
right. You are
to that
absolutely
Oogie.
correct. And it fits a role that they needed, which was a
Like,
support hero. So
it is so annoying to that Oogie over there.
well, hopefully between Lodestone and Hellbringer's initiation, they can give Oogie the room to get the job done in the team fights. But you're absolutely right that Moira is going to be a pain. And now they rounded up with Dr. Pulsar, so they did have another carry in mind. But definitely Probusk adjusting and drafting pretty strong team here.
Well, the Doctor Buzzer there, I really loved it, and like they need a carry that could initiate to just follow the Magnus, and he has the movement capability, which is Doctor Buzzer is one of the best heroes that have kind of spells.
Right. Yeah, he's extremely mobile hero. But also with good damage capabilities. And I like the fact that with the Hellbringer, if people get too grouped up, he can really set up a great ultimate and really pick apart a team fight. They have a team, Wild Soul's tanky, Deadlift's tanky, Magnus will have a portal key, where they can kind of hang back and, like you said, initiate from afar. Even Moira, she doesn't group up with people; she kind of keeps at a safe distance, and that's going to make Hellbringer a little less effective. I think so. Maybe they took that into account. And this last big blitz, I mean,
Well, Blitz is one of the best heroes to box out a suicide heroes, which is Armillis, and the hero is just so good with the I guess like with the swift blade. Like you just could give him the burst movement speed, and he just could run and spin.
yeah. And I'll tell you this much: STST is that who's playing blitz right now? Yeah, it is. He was an absolute beast. Now, what's interesting is you could see Hellbringer or Blitz in really a support role. You would think that Blitz is probably going to be the support, but we saw him run solo mid Blitz and just dominate Sync. They ended up losing the game, but just keep an eye on that character, on that hero, and the player behind it. He does some amazing things with that hero.
Well, I'm really surprised about what you're saying because Blitz he is not running for mid items, I believe.
Uh, he doesn't necessarily need them, but I mean he put out a lot of damage, and he played mid in the sense where he wasn't sitting and farming. He was extremely active. He set up ganks in both top and bottom. I want to say within the first 5 minutes, and his team really snowballed. Ultimately, and I think this is a problem that 2-0 has, Marcus Moy had clanks, and he just really had poor itemization. I'm not trying to flame him or anything, but I think that is the weakest point for 2-0. So I'll like see if they made any changes since Thursday and how they choose to spend the gold that they pool up. Because, I mean, 15,000 gold lead, and they ended up losing. But other than that, I'm really excited to see 2-0. Definitely an up-and-coming team here. I can tell that they practice a lot together. They have good teamwork, and let's see if they can make it happen against Fresh here.
Well, so am I. I'm really excited to see how Blitz is going to work because after all, we don't see this hero on mid anymore at competitive.
Is he going to be playing?
Well, I'm not really sure, but
I think he might be now. So actually, he definitely could have, but they're going to put Swiftblade mid, and
yeah, so with mid.
against the Magnus, that's going to be a pretty close matchup. I think I favor Magnus a little bit, just because of the volcanic touch, but
Well, it seems that is a jungle Blitz.
I don't think so. I think he's going to rotate. I don't know. I've never seen Blitz jungle, so we
Well,
have
I
to
know
see
that
how it pans out.
he's not that good, but well, all he needs is just level 2. Maybe he's gonna get it from the pole camp after all. But well, we see that Deadlift is just giving up on the top lane.
Yeah, he's not even there. He's going to come into jungle and take a little bit. So, I mean, that's a complete waste of resources for 2-0 to have these heroes up top. And you can see Blitz adjusting to the situation. Let's see. Let's see if they can make the right rotations, because obviously their plan's not going to work out here.
Well, Blitz need resources in order to gank this Magnus, because if this Magnus gets Steam Bath, then there is no way to stun him, pretty much.
Right, right. Now, I'm not one to get Steam Bath unless I have to, so let's see. He hasn't grabbed it yet, but let's see if he decides to pick it up.
Well, if the Blitz is going to stay on mid, then he will eventually.
Okay. So, I mean, we got Lodestone and the Suicide rolled on here. Moira, surprisingly, she's not harassing him too much. I mean, he's already soaked up a good bit of experience, and I'm sure he's pretty much okay with this, but now Dr. Pulsar is applying the pressure. See, to kind of force him back a little bit here.
What do you think that early battery onto that Lodestone?
If Dr. Repulsor is going to be using the magnetic contraption to farm a lot, then maybe it'll pay off. I definitely think I would have liked him to just hold off for Marchers, because he's going to want to rotate soon, and now it's going to be that much solo though. Magnus taking a ton of damage here. He has to Lava Surge away. Luckily, he's going to pop a health potion, but just the damage there of Blitz and Swiftblade, yeah, that's a strong combination as it stands right now. Magnus is going to have a hard time getting any farm in this lane here, though. He's 7-2. I think that's going to slow down as we see levels on Blitz.
Well, I gotta say, this Magnus, if he run into what is it called? The hatchet, yeah. If he run into the hatchet, then he will really struggle on this lane. But after all, he had so much regen, so he's just gonna be fine.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, he's able to maintain in the lane, and he's already level 4. So, though his farm is a little bit struggling, that's the most important thing on levels on Magnus. I think when you get that level 7, it's to me that's the sweet spot where then you can start to make things happen.
Indeed.
But
well,
look at
speaking on top.
Yeah, Deadlift's getting a little ballsy here. He's managing to pick off. That's 2 of the creeps there. He got the Stealth Hunter, and oh, look at Lodestone. There's a 4-man rotation coming up here to find Deadlift. They're going to get the slow off by Oogie, but they just can't close the gap.
Well,
I mean,
I gotta say, Slash did a really amazing job securing the Marcher from the jungle. Then after that, he went to the suicide lane. And that being said, they cannot kill him as long as he has Marcher.
Right. That was definitely a wise decision. Now he's come back up here. He's able to get experience, and he forces out a 4-man rotation, and that's a lot of lost time and gold. 4-2-0 here. Well, looking at it, I mean, is Dr. Pulsar left to his own? You know, you got the 2 main carries on Legion side pretty much free farming, and now Magnus is going to start catching up. I'm not sure I like these rotations coming out from 2-0. It feels like they're giving too much space to Sync right now, and Sync's pulling ahead slowly but surely. 1,000 gold at 4 minutes. And that's all creep farm.
Well, it is all due to that wise decision that Slash made over there on the suicide. Like they just thought like 2-0 thought they could get some kills into that deadlift because he's going to try his best to win the lane. But such a wise decision. He just left top and he went from the jungle, securing that marcher. I gotta say, that's what you need to do on the laning phase at this point.
Yeah, and it's definitely paid off for them now. 2,000 gold lead here. What changed? I mean, they didn't even get a tower. It just multiplied here. Yeah, Dr. Repulsor here taking damage, but he's going to turn the fight and go on to Lodestone. One more hit will do the trick, but he can't drop it. It's going to be a trade-off 1-for-1. Sorry about that. And now Moira's going to try to put in some more hits into Blitz. That could have been... Lodestone could have been alive and survived that, but Moira definitely coming through with the Mana Sunder there. Perfect timing. How did that even unfold? Because I missed the start of it there.
Well, pretty much just, you know, the Doctor doesn't have the best movement capability until he reach the level 6, which he is now.
He just like, overextended and they capitalized on him? Or?
Like, he was just pushing and that Blitz was just too fast. He wasn't like overcommitting, no, but
yeah.
There's just so much...
Oh, they're diving Lodestone here. Boo Boo tanking the tower. Or moving into position 2, and they drop Lodestone there. He actually had a rocket drill, but I guess the lockdown was too much for him to make anything out of it. So Sync starting out strong here, 2-1.
Well, I gotta say, Fresh is doing what they need to do. They are doing the necessary job. Like, they are just securing that farm into that wild soul. Doctor is just doing fine over there, and now he's sitting on 250 gold per minute. Well, as soon as they get the bottom tower, they will have a lot of space, and that Doctor will be able to rotate into that Swift Blade. And I gotta say, if there is no one behind that Swift Blade, so that Swift is just gonna go down.
Yeah, and as soon as they start addressing this push, I mean, then you got to worry about Deadlift making way. He's level 5. He definitely has power to push towers. And, yeah, I mean, it seems like Fresh here does not even care about Oogie. They're going to let him farm up here. Lodestone's going to try to initiate here onto Boo Boo. But not really anything coming of it here. And there's a ton of rotations coming out. Hellborn team brings 4 players down here. But you can't even catch Wild Soul. He's too fast. Dr. Polar has an escape. And did Fresh just bait that out? Because that's the second time they had a whole team rotate for a kill and not get anything out of it. It seems like game 1 of Sync BMG all over again.
Well, here we see that 2-0 is trying to force the game on their side, but Fresh has just a good idea about what's going on, and on top of that, Oogie pretty much is struggling versus that deadlift. So 2-0 is looking in a very tough spot over here.
It's definitely getting shaky here. I thought that Marcus Moy was farming pretty well, but it's slowed down a bit for sure since he lost his support heroes, and the support's not even having an impact. When do you think they'll start utilizing their jungle? I mean, they're starting to stack it now. You think Oogie will move in there now and with the Gnome's wisdom?
Well, Swift Blade pretty much he cannot stay mid for too long because he cannot overcommit to this Magnus unless that he did something.
Oof. Thought Swiftblade was going to go on Magnus there, but Magnus has Steam Bath, so he can't even ult him. Here comes Deadlift with the long-range stun on the Swiftblade. That's a significant amount of damage, too.
So, as I said before, they need to put a lot of resources in order to gank that Magnus. They need a Dust, they need a Riv Wars. But on the other hand, Fresh, they don't need much of... Yeah, like Fresh doesn't need much of resources in order to make the plays.
Yeah, and they're definitely putting the pedal to the metal here. They already got tower down halfway. Blitz found Moira over here, though. Lodestone 2, he waits too long. The rocket drill doesn't connect. She's going to be able to get a little health back here from the battery. He's activating his ultimate. This could be big if he connects it, but they know it's coming. They're going to just sacrifice Moira.
two TPs got cancelled. Wise decision from Robusk and the Denver Pro to just rotate over there.
Right. And, I mean, at least 2-0, it seems like they're communicating well. I can give them that much here. It's not always paying off, but they're definitely prepared for it. The only thing I worry about is this Magnus is farming up really fast. You're going to see a portal key on him in no time. And, I mean, everybody on Fresh here is doing pretty decent.
Like, as you see, at this point, 2-0 didn't win the rotations. Because even though it's equal, but after all, they don't have a jungle hero. That's why they are almost 4,000
Falling
behind.
behind, absolutely. And how they're going to get their Ancient stolen, that was not a double stack, I don't think. So
Yeah, it was single, but anyway, that's not the biggest deal. So what 2-0 need to do in order to come back into this game? They need to force the team fights when that Oogie has that icon maybe, and just get the best out of it, because that Hellbringer is going to reach level 6 soon. He's just missing half of his experience. And as soon as that Blitz reach level 6 as well, I think 2-0 have to go all out.
yeah, they definitely have, you know, once they do get those ultimates, I agree. They have the ability to set something up, but again, these are pretty tanky targets, and by then, you might even have a portal key on Magnus, so there's going to be a really small window to execute what you're saying, I think, if they can do it at all. Here comes the rocket drill onto Moira. Blitz putting in the damage, but Dr. Pulse are going to come in. Oh, the Lodestone ultimate is toggled. Will it go off? This Moira could pan out bad for them. No. It does explode. Moira's going to fall down here, but Blitz trade a nice double stun, line stun from Magnus. This is a pretty crazy fight here. Lodestone's going to try to get away with his life. Unable to do any serious damage there. Now Wild Soul's getting stuck, body block, but Magnus channeling the eruption. He gets a triple stun and takes out the rest of the Hellborn team. That Malphus came out just a little bit late. And wasn't able to make any serious impact, but damn, that Magnus doing some work here.
That was a genocide. The Hellborn team just got wiped out over there.
They definitely did, and I don't understand why Lodestone felt the need to. They went all in on a Moira.
Like, I gotta say, like, Swiftblade and Oogie, they don't have the best lockdown to go for. They don't have the best lockdown, these two heroes. And
Here comes initiation onto Doctor, but yeah, Doctor's got plenty of mana.
It's just gonna be fine. That being said, they don't have the best follow-up. Like, I gotta say, running Oogie with Swiftblade versus Wild Soul and Doctor, this is not the best draft you could have. Unless that you going to win these rotations, but unfortunately it didn't happen for 2-0. So now, even though they have the Hellbringer and Oogie to force these team fights, but I gotta say that Swiftblade pretty much is not needed on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he bought the Ghost Marchers. You could tell. I mean, he's definitely aware that it's hard for him to get in position. Maybe we even see a portal key on him. I'm not sure.
Well, let me just be clear. I'm not saying this hero is a bad pick. No, I'm saying is this hero is not designed to be with this draft.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if there's something's going on here that they're down 6,000 gold, and they kind of don't have a game plan. They're kind of just moving around the area. Look at lead inside grouping up here. They're ready to take another set of towers here and force a fight. Hellbringer's ultimate is off cooldown in about 30 seconds. See if they can delay long enough to have a fighting chance here.
And we see 2-0 is trying to split push, and when they do something like this, then
Oh, here
they're
comes
not
Moira,
going.
channeling that ephemeral forge up here. She's gonna get bursted down before she can get any kind of channel off. Here comes TP's in from 2-0. Oh, he tries to put in the
Doesn't have mana.
Tarquake, but yeah, he's out of mana, so. And now they're still going to force the initiation. Swift Slash is coming out, doesn't connect. Moira's ultimate's going to lock him down. Here comes Dr. Pulsar flying in with that brand new icon. Here comes the Magnus. Lava Surge onto 2, but Lodestone's about to get a nice ultimate off. Connects onto Dr. Pulsar. They can burst him down, but here comes Deadlift and Wild Soul chugging on in. Here comes another huge stun coming out by Magnus. That's going to be enough to lock Oogie down. Even with his ultimate active, he can't stay alive because of the Mana Sunder. So now it's just a back and forth. Moira falls down. Lodestone's going to fall quickly here, and Swiftblade would be lucky to get away with his life. I'm not sure it's going to happen here. Here comes the stun. Can he sidestep it? He does for a second, but it's not going to be enough. Different guy on Magnus. This is his game to shine for right now. Oof.
Was it another genocide?
Might as well have been. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, something did not add up there.
Anyway, 8,000 lead for both gold and experience is so high for that Walsall. Like now that, what can you do to this Walsall? I know that that you have Oogie, but that Oogie doesn't have icon yet, and he doesn't have the best lockdown.
Yeah,
I don't see 2-0 is going to win this late game. They really have to do something now. They are in very hard position.
I agree. I mean, we talked about in the beginning the Wild Soul. If you didn't have a direct counter, the only thing you could really do was keep him from getting out of hand. And if there ever was a getting out of hand, I mean, this is definitely it. 15 minutes in, highest level in the game by far, with massive farm. I mean, what does he have? He's got a Frost Wolf, he's got his Abyssal Skull, and even Boo Boo probably going to get Ghost Marchers. I wouldn't be shocked to see that soon. Initiation here onto Swiftblade. Hellbringer buys him a little time, but it's not enough.
And as you see that Frisch is just forcing the gameplay to be on their side.
Now they are, yeah.
And 2-0 is trying to break this out, but it's just not happening.
Yep, and they push so hard here. I mean, between Deadlift and Wild Soul, and then everybody else just hammering in without any type of contention. I mean, this is going to be complete map control for Fresh now. When they take the second tower, they've got the aggressive wards up here from Bunny Lover. I mean, 2-0 can't even leave their base.
Well, I gotta say, if 2-0 gonna lose that top second tower, then I think they need to CC this game.
Lodestone's going to try to set a rocket drill up. He connects on to Boo Boo, but he's going to get caught in the Moira's ultimate here. They jump in here. Here comes the Hellbringer ultimate with a Lodestone combo, but there's nobody left. Only Deadlift. Magnus stuns away, and they start to focus on Oogie here. Dr. Repulsor taking a bit of damage, but not enough to kill him. Everybody's dead now except for Swiftblade and Oogie running for their lives. Yeah, with Oogie left by himself. He's going to try to man up here, but Magnus doing a good job at kiting him. Here comes the Man Asunder, and they're kind of just toying with him. Doctor has enough mana to drop down the opposite charges. That could be a buyback. No buyback gold on any of the heroes here.
We might see a top tower over here. Like they're going to break the base tower.
It's true. Hellbringer's back, but I don't think he can do much. Maybe clear out the wave here.
Well, as I said, at this point,
yeah,
2-0. I don't think they have a chance to come back into this game. It is about time before they just concede.
I think we'll see it pretty soon here. I'm pretty sure they already understand that the chance is probably slim to none. But then again, it's only 17 minutes in. Maybe they want to get as much experience in against this team as they can. Maybe learn a little bit to use against them in the next game. But here comes the concede vote. Another nice stun by Magnus there to clean up. Dr. Repulsor diving the well here. Just cleaning up here. Not even afraid of a full HP mana. Oogie. They're going to call the GGs. At least 2-0 is going to call the GGs. And that's going to wrap up game one here for Fresh versus 2-0.
Well, I gotta say, that was perfection. Counter gameplay by Fresh.
Counter the draft, the lane
Not
play,
only
but
the
Slasky with his early rotation into the jungle, like you said, I mean,
Yeah,
definitely had a
was-
huge impact.
that had an amazing impact. Giving up the top lane, which I find it awkward when I saw it, but guess what? He just secured that marcher and he went to the top lane again to pressure that Oogie, and he did it perfectly. And they tried to gank him, and I gotta say, when you have a hero like Blitz that cannot jungle, but all what he could do is to rotate, and he doesn't get these rotations, then your whole draft is just screwed.
Yeah, I definitely think that they made a mistake in how they set the lanes up from the get-go, and ultimately, I mean, they didn't have much of a fighting chance. But with that being said, there is another game. There's another chance for them to turn this into a draw. So let's go to just a quick minute or two break here before the next lobby starts up. And stay tuned, guys. Bringing at you the game 2 coming up now.